Hi everyone, Scott Winard here. Welcome back to Let's Do Bonsai. I know it's been a long time, but things have been really busy. So I thought it was about time we had a bit of an update and checked out to see what's going on here at Let's Do Bonsai. So let's go and have a look. So some of our bonsai and pre-bonsai stuff is here, still going well. The pine, 5-needle pine's doing okay. The giant redwood, giant sequoia has come out, leafed out very nicely. That's doing a good job. That's doing really well. The Lawson cypress, that all came out. All the tips were red. They've gone a bit yellow now. But the weather keeps chopping and changing, so it doesn't know what time it was. You can see some of those buds there, just on the edge of those. They went bright red. Some areas have seemed to have died off, etc. So we'll have some pruning work to do on that one. There's a pre-bonsai acer there that needs some trimming back. Then Kay's Westfield willow there, doing really well. This is from the same batch of the ones that we sent some to Jared at Jarhead Bonsai, and we've got some around the back on the pre-bonsai shelves doing well. There's a few of the little units over there. One of the larches that doesn't seem to want to come out. It doesn't seem to have survived the winter, so that's there. We're just leaving it, giving it a chance to bud out, but I don't think it's going to. And then along the wall we've got just a few things out, just to make it look less sparse and a bit more pretty. And there's the small larch there that's budded out and looks really nice. It's got some new big buds coming out there. They'll fan out nicely just like those ones, and that's doing really well. It's probably due a repot, so we might get a repot out of that one. We've got the avocado tree that's still doing really well. It's probably desperate now to get out of this tiny little pot, and I think I've made a bit of a decision where I'm going to keep this as a normal sized tree, normal avocado sized tree, and we'll start another one for a bonsai one. I'm that happy and really pleased with how this tree's done. I don't want to take it down and bonsai it. I'm going to keep it as a full-size tree, and we'll start another avocado off. It doesn't seem to take too long, so we'll be able to work on another one very soon. In the greenhouse here we have the sacred figs that need to be repotted. They keep leafing out, growing and doing well, but then all the leaves die off and die back. But they really need some repotting, and we'll probably turn them into a forest of some description. The new bonsai trees that we got a few weeks ago need a bit of work. The cherries are now in the greenhouse. They're doing well. There's a tray of cherries there and a tray of cherries there. The cotton Easter, one that didn't make it to the side there and one that did, and we have some lovely little flowers on that, looking very nice. We have I think that's the mimosifolia, I think, or the flame tree. That's keeps coming out and doing well, so we'll probably do some repotting on that. Another sacred fig there. Then we have the bald cypress that didn't look very well for a long time. It was just brown and just looked like sticks in pots, but it's got new growth coming out of it all over, up and down, and that's doing really well. We've got the small lemon and orange tree in the background there, doing okay. We've got two ginseng ficus that died over winter. They got too cold and they died off, but we've got some small growth down on the root base, so we'll be doing something with that going forward. The lemon seedlings still going well, doing okay. pine tree from seed from one of the kits that's doing really well, and there's some more pine doing really well. So we'll probably get all those together and make a bit of a forest as well. We do have some more pines underneath there that some of them have died, some of them look like they were dying and then they've had a burst growth, and then the one at the front here is a Scots pine, so I'm really pleased with that, that's blossomed and doing really well. And then here we have hazel, common hazel, I think that's doing okay. One of our Christmas decoration trees that I kept in the greenhouse has got all these lovely new shoots coming out. It's doing extremely well. We need to do some work on that. The larger lemon tree and orange tree in there, looking really green and really nice. The Portulacaria afras that were rescued that nearly died are doing really well, and looking forward to some pruning work. Another small pine there doing really well, a couple that didn't make it. Our crown of thorns there that's been in flower for all winter and all year. It's got a lot of new growth coming in at the top. That's been doing really well. I can't believe how well that's done, but it's had flowers on it for the last year and it's just continued to do so well. I did get a baby ginseng ficus there, so that if nothing comes of the ones that were dying away, we'll have them to go with, and another one just in there. And then we have the botanical red buds bonsais. One of them not doing too well, it's just a stick in a pot, and then one that did look like it had just died back, and then all this new growth has come out of it. So we're happy with that. We'll keep an eye on that and see how it goes. And of course in the background you can see lots of jades. We got catalpa there, all growing, all doing reasonably well. We try to leave them and let them grow, and they're doing really well. And some more catalpas down there, so we'll probably have to do a catalpa forest. I think they are some Scots pines down there. They're not doing great, but we'll probably get those potted on into some separate pots. They were put into that large pot in a panic, so it's time to probably do some work with those. And then if we go and have a look at the pre-bonsai shelf, so around here we have a Acer that is grown out lovely. I've not had the heart to do a great deal with that at the moment, and that's doing really well. And then the horse chestnuts have just exploded over the last week or so. To the left of that we've got the west side willow there, growing wild, growing all up and over the greenhouse. We've got more of the horse chestnuts. We've got some ivy there that's doing okay, some more willow. We have I think that's an ash, but I'm not 100% sure. Somebody might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's an ash type tree that we got and bent it to create some sort of nice tree. There's another one there, we'll just check that. So yeah, it's coming up on my app as an ash, or a green ash, or a red ash. But if anybody disagrees with that, feel free to mention in the comments. Sorry about the noise in the background. People have got building works going on still under COVID times. We've got another pre-bonsai maple there, and some hemlock that's we pulled up off the off some moorlands, and that's doing really well, so I'm happy with that. I think is that oak up there. We've got some oak seedlings up there doing well, they all come through nicely. Then in the cold frame we've got some cherry trees sat there, we've got some English oaks blooming out nicely, a willow there in the background that was pruned down by Pete. He decided that he wanted that to be shorter, so obviously there's literally only that left, but it continues to grow and continues to do well. Some more oak, some more horse chestnut, some hazel, everything doing really well. Some more hazel and some oak there in together. We'll have to pull them apart and do something. I think this is an apple which we'll be doing something with. We've got some growth down here off the main trunk, so we might be able to do a major trunk chop and utilize the new growth coming off. This is a large cotton Easter that I was able to lay my hands on a few weeks ago. This is the apple tree which we are doing an air layer on, so hopefully that's going to be successful. We've got some nice growth coming at the bottom as well, so if we do manage to trunk chop that, we've got some interesting roots down here which we could probably do with putting some more soil around those just to keep them safe, and hopefully if this takes and it roots, I mean it's still flowering and everything up above, so something's working somewhere. The Mexican orange seems to have died off. It was dug up from the garden and it was put into this pot because it had a shallow root system, but it just hasn't responded very well at all to being moved and repotted. This is the larch, pre-bonsai larch forest that we got. It's thickening up really nice. We'll be able to trunk chop some of these and work backwards on them and make a nice little bonsai forest hopefully. I'm not sure whether we'll incorporate the one that's already a bonsai, but we'll see. And then last but not least, round here, I thought we'd lost her, but the ginkgo budded out a week or so ago, and we've got some lovely leaves coming off it. It's doing really well. I'm really happy and chuffed with that, but it's quite tall. It must be 4.5 5 foot tall, and there's a lot going on, so I think we'd like to maybe take some cuttings of it. I'm not sure how they would respond to rooting from cuttings, propagating from hardwood. There's not a lot of green softwood on here, so it would have to be hardwood cuttings. I'll have to do some googling to find out how that would go, or we could try and do some air layering of this as well. I'm sure somebody out there will tell me no, don't do that, or yes, this is what you can do. So any advice on this fella would be greatly appreciated. This is my first ginkgo, my first and only ever ginkgo, and yeah, I'm so happy that the leaves have popped out. A little one for Jared. The pencil cactus is huge now, taking over the orangery in here. I just thought I'd get a quick shot of that so you can see that it's still alive, still doing well, and carrying on. The terrarium bonsai has been doing really well, perhaps too well. It's growing out of its pot, so we'll be going in with some long snips and shears and trimming all the top and long leggy growth away, and we may even put it into some water and some damp soil and see if we can get them to you know, propagate onwards and see if we get some additional growth from them. But I just thought I'd let you see that the terrarium bonsai continues to do well. We also have, I've brought into the tents the large jade bonsai that we have, and this, we're going to do some severe work on this. I need to get out of the bad habit of not being able to prune the jades that I have, and we need to do some serious work on this one and bring it into some sort of, you know, lower it down, make it more compact, and we can probably take a lot of these thicker growth branches away and make it so that we have something else, you know, a little forest, desert forest or something like that. But there's lots of huge branches within this clump. It's all one tree, but yeah, we really need to do a little bit of something with that and tidy it up. There's the other ones underneath which need a bit of work. They need a bit of organisation and sorting out. And then we have the COVID jade, which has done really well, considering you can see that there's lots of new growth out of the top of this last bit of the twin trunk that was left. We ended up with it coming all the way down to this node and this node, and I thought, oh my, we're going to lose it all the way down to the main trunk and we won't have the early, you know, break in the trunk. But no, it's hardened off inside. That's all gone hard, so it's not going to die back to this node, so that's going to stay. We've got some really good growth coming out of the back of that, and then this has died all the way down to this node here, but it will continue to dry up and shrivel and disappear. But we've got lots of growth around the front here and off the side, and then there's a real lot of growth around the back. I'll just give it a quick turn and you can see all that fresh, new, lovely growth coming off it. The side, that's all hard, so that's stopped rotting back. It has shriveled up. It will probably shrivel up a little bit more, but there's lots of suckers and new growth coming through the soil from that point, which will hopefully help replace what we've got. So it's a long road, it's a real long road, but seeing little growth like that really puts a smile on your face. And then we've got all these other clump cuttings and things that we need to do stylings with. I did have some great ideas of what we were going to do. I was saving quite a bit of stuff for we were going to have some visitors and we were going to do some bonsai work. Hopefully that's going to happen in the future, and we'll get to do that. That's another part of the main COVID tree that was split away, you may remember, and that has really done well. You've got lots of really nice loose small leaves on that. So those long leggy branches, we'll be taking them all the way back, making that a little bit more compact, but we've got obviously more cuttings and more greenery to work with, which is a good thing and a bad thing. And then lastly we have the pie pot bonsai of the other part that was left of the COVID tree. This part of it died back all the way to there, as you can see, but that now is hardened off, and we have so much growth coming out of the same points that we're going to have absolutely loads to work with. We've got it died off back to here on this little part, then we've got growth coming out here and here. It died off back to here and it's coming out here and here. Now the good things with the jade is it doesn't really whirl and swell up at the multiple grow points where you have more than two branches coming out of a point. The general reason in bonsai is to remove it so that, you know, if you've got more than two, it would swell up in that area, and you know, your branch would look strange. You'd have some strange growth, etc. But with a jade, you don't really get the swelling at this point, apart from you just see the branches coming away at that point. So it doesn't really swell up and look strange and, you know, not right. But obviously it gives us a lot of choice to make decisions for what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So that's looking really well. When we put it into this pie pot, it wasn't looking too good. None of this growth was there. It had pretty much, you know, it was dying back and dying back, but we saved it just in time, and I'm happy to say that it's recovering really well, as is the main of the COVID jade. So that's it for your update of what's been going on here at Let's Do Bonsai. Basically keeping the trees and plants alive as best we can, you know, watering them and all the rest of them. We've got lots of work to do, so we're going to crack on with that. And I think probably the first thing, we'll plant on the avocado and some other little bits, and revisit the fruity bonsai, because what I didn't show you was the orange seeds have been successful, and we've got lots of little baby orange seedlings ready to plant on. So I'll see you again very soon for the avocado repot and the orange seedlings planting on. So until then, make the best of the rest of your day. If you go outside, be kind to others, animals and the planet, and we'll see you again very soon for more bonsai.